Today we are going to see Laplace transforms. A transformation in mathematics means conversion of one function into another. So you know the operator d. So if that operator d operates on some f of x, you get another new function g of x. So that is a change. Coming to Laplace transform, it is widely used for solving linear differential equations, both ordinary and partial differential equation. It reduces the ordinary differential equation into an algebraic equation. Let us see the definition of Laplace transform. Let f of t be a function of t defined for all positive values of t. So then the Laplace transform can be written as L of f of t is equal to integral 0 to infinity e to the power minus st f of t dt. So this is the Laplace transform formula, provided that the integral exists. So integration has to exist and s is a parameter which may be real or a complex number. If you can see here, L of f of t being clearly a function of s, this can be written as L of f of t is equal to f bar of s. So this Laplace transform can be written as f bar of s. So this implies the function f of t is equal to L inverse of f bar of s. F bar in the sense it is another function, that's it. So L inverse of f bar of s is the inverse Laplace transform of f bar of s. The symbol L which transform f of t into f bar of s is called the Laplace transform, and L inverse is called the inverse Laplace transform operator. Moving on to the conditions for the existence, this Laplace transform, that is integration of 0 to infinity e power minus st f of t dt, that is for s greater than 0. So for s greater than 0, this exists only if the function f of t is continuous. So the function f of t has to be continuous, and another condition is limit t tends to infinity e to the power minus at f of t. So this term, if you apply the limit, that is limit from t to t tends to infinity, this has to be finite. So only then the Laplace transforms exist. So this is a condition for the existence. Next, let us do some transformation for elementary functions. We'll do one by one. The first one will be L of 1. So this has to be 1 by s. So we have to prove this. We know that L of f of t is equal to integral 0 to infinity e power minus st f of t dt. So this is the Laplace transform formula. So here f of t is 1. So L of 1 will be equal to integral 0 to infinity e power minus st into this f of t is 1 dt. So when you integrate this with respect to t, what you get? E power minus st by s, and this is minus s, so you will be getting one negative sign. This is 0 to infinity. So e power minus infinity is 0, so the upper limit term is 0. So when you apply 0 here, e power 0 is 1. So this will become 1 by s. Next, let us prove that L of t to the power n is equal to n factorial by s to the power n plus 1 when n is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. So the proof for this is, we know the formula for the Laplace transform. L of f of t is equal to integral 0 to infinity e power minus st f of t dt. So here your f of t is t to the power n. So this is equal to integral 0 to infinity e power minus st into t to the power n dt. So we can't integrate this directly. So what I am going to do here is, I am going to take let st is equal to p. So this implies when you differentiate this dt will be equal to dp by s. So I can take this s this side, and what else we need t. So here, from here we can say that t is equal to p by s. So let me apply everything in the integration. Now the integration will become, the limits will be the same. So integral 0 to infinity minus, instead of st we are going to apply p, so minus p, and instead of t we are having p by s, so p by s the whole power n. And what about dt? Instead of dt we have dp by s. Here in the denominator we have s, so this is s to the power n, so you have one s here, so s to the power n plus 1. So this is a constant, we can take it outside. So 1 by s to the power n plus 1 integral 0 to infinity, what you have is e to the power minus p, p to the power n dp. So this can be written as, so what about this integration? This is the gamma function. So this can be written as gamma of n plus 1. And provided, you have to be careful, provided this s has to be greater than 0 and this n plus 1 should also be greater than 0, that is which implies n should be greater than minus 1. So now we let me apply all the conditions here. If n is positive, if n is positive, this gamma of n plus 1 can be written as n factorial. So of course if n is positive, you all know that gamma of n plus 1 is equal to n factorial. Therefore L of t to the power n is equal to n factorial by s to the power n plus 1. So hence proved. But this condition is for positive values of n. We'll look into other values. Let n is equal to minus half. So in this condition, it will become L of t to the power minus 1 by 2. So if you apply this minus 1 by 2 in the formula, we will use this formula itself. T to the power n, L of t to the power n is equal to n factorial by s to the power n plus 1. So what is n factorial? N factorial is gamma of n plus 1. Let me use that. So gamma of n here is minus 1 by 2 plus 1 by s to the power n plus 1. So s to the power minus 1 by 2 plus 1. So this is equal to gamma of 1 by 2 by s to the power 1 by 2. So what is gamma of 1 by 2? It is root pi by, this is again root s. So this can be written as root of pi by s. So when n is equal to minus 1 by 2, this will become root of pi by s. Now we'll see two more conditions. Let n is equal to 1 by 2. So we saw minus 1 by 2, now it is 1 by 2. So L of t to the power 1 by 2 is equal to gamma of half plus 1 n plus 1 by s to the power again half plus 1, that is n plus 1. So we all know that gamma of n plus 1 can be written as n into gamma of n. So we are going to use this over here. So it is gamma of n plus 1 here. So this can be written as half into gamma of half, that is n into gamma of n by s to the power 3 by 2. So this gamma of half can be written as root pi by s to the power 3 by 2. So this is root pi by 2 into s to the power 3 by 2. So this is what we obtain when n is equal to half. Let me move on to the next condition. Let n is equal to 1. So what if n is equal to 1? Then L of t to the power 1, So let me write it as L of t is equal to n factorial, in the sense it is 1 factorial. So 1 by s to the power n plus 1. N is 1 here, so you can write it as 1 plus 1. So you can write this as 2. So L of t is equal to 1 by s squared. Now, next we are going to prove that L of e to the power at is equal to 1 by s minus a. Let me prove this. We all know that L of f of t is equal to integral 0 to infinity e power minus st f of t dt. Here f of t is e to the power at. So let me write this directly. L of e power at is equal to integral 0 to infinity e power minus st. F of t here is e power at, so into e power at dt. So this is equal to, let me take t outside, so minus of s minus a into t dt. So now we can integrate this. So if you integrate, this will become e power minus of s minus a into t by, so you have a negative sign here, I am going to put negative sign. So it is s minus a 0 to infinity. So here again minus infinity, e power minus infinity will become 0. So your upper limit is 0 and your lower limit, if you apply, you will be getting e to the power 0, that is equal to 1. So this will become 1 by s minus a. So this is possible only if s is greater than a. Next let us prove that L of sin at is equal to a by s squared plus a squared. So we all know the Laplace transform formula, so I am going to write this directly. L of sin at is equal to integral 0 to infinity e power minus st sin at dt. We are going to use a formula here, integration of e power at sin bt dt. So this is a formula, this is equal to e power at by a squared plus b squared into a sin bt minus b cos bt. So what about a here? Here a is equal to minus s, and what about b? B is equal to a. So we are going to apply this a and b in this formula. So the above integration can be written as e power, instead of a it is minus st, by your a squared will be s squared plus a squared into, my a is minus s, sin b is a, so it is sin at minus a cos at. So we have to apply the limits 0 to infinity. So what about t power minus infinity? Of course it is 0. So e power 0, we have to apply that. If I apply 0 over here, this e power 0 will become 1, and sin 0 is 0, and if I apply cos 0, this will become 1. So at last I can write this as cos 0 is 1, so you have one a here. So I can write this as a by s squared plus a squared. So hence the proof. Same we can apply for cos. So I am going to prove that L of cos at is equal to s by s squared plus a squared. Let me prove this. Here again you have a formula. First let me write the formula for Laplace. So L of cos at is equal to integration of 0 to infinity e power minus st cos at dt. And I am going to use a formula, integration of e power at cos bt dt. And this is equal to e power at by a squared plus b squared into a cos bt plus b sin bt. What about our a here? Our a is minus s and b is of course a. So let me apply the formula. Our integration will become e power, instead of a we have minus s, so minus st by s squared plus a squared into, instead of a we have minus s, so minus s cos at plus a sin at. So here the limit is 0 to infinity. So the upper limit will become 0 because e power minus infinity is 0. If you apply the lower limit, you will be getting our cos 0 will be 1 and a sin 0 will become 0. So here you have one s. So as because this is a lower limit, this negative sign will get cancelled. So you can write this as s by s squared plus a squared. Hence the proof.